Hi, this is Lisa Coe, and I am excited to be here today with Rodney Hensely at Sozo's Coffee Roasting. And Rodney, it's so good to see you, and I would just love it if you would just share with us a bit about the history of Sozo's.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me. Sozo is the word sozo actually is Greek to make whole, make new. So, 13 years ago, I started roasting coffee for fun. It was more of a kind of a side little project, I guess you could say. And over time, my friends wanted a bag, then their friends wanted a bag, and it kind of snowballed into this business. And at the time, I had kind of explained to my wife, I didn't want this to be Rodney's coffee. I wanted it to actually be something bigger or have a meaning. And so at that time, the word Sozo had come up. And so for me, you're making something. Well, coffee's green, by the way. So when I go visit the coffee farmers, it looks like a little cherry, and inside the little bean, or what we would maybe in reference to a cherry would be like the pit. And so over time, once it's washed, you have this what they call a green bean. And so once we get it here in the U.S., we roast it, and that's how we get the coffee. So if you were just to have that bean itself, it's not that good. It's pretty nasty. So once it's roasted, that's where it gets its character. And so, and then also too with our bakery, we take everything from scratch. We don't use any box ingredients. And so you're taking something without characteristics, or let's say it's not desirable by itself, and so we're actually making something. So we're making a cinnamon roll, or we're roasting the coffee to where it has great characteristics and flavor. So that's where to make whole, make new is where the name came from. And so our heart too was to actually coffee's the number 2 industry in the world. So with it being that popular, and I mean coffee's right behind petroleum. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So with that popularity, you know that there's going to be injustice where people are being taken advantage of. So what we tried to do is we have those relationships with the farmers where we're making sure that they get paid a proper wage, that they're not being paid based upon what the commodity market says or dictates. And right now, especially with the cost or price, a lot of farmers are losing their farms based upon the price of what the stock market dictates. And so you have these individuals in New York that are saying that coffee is just under $1 a pound. Well, they may not even drink coffee. They're the ones that are actually dictating the price. So what we try to do is actually look at and examine what the quality they have, and then at the same time evaluate and then pay them accordingly.
So you go over down South America quite often, don't you?
I do. So I've been to Guatemala 7 times. I've been to Colombia twice. I've been to Costa Rica, and then this past year went to Ethiopia as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a wonderful learning experience every time.
So what can you see as far as the future? Where would you like to go with Sozo's? You have lots of things that you're working on.
Yes. So again, I would see us growing the roasting part of the business. We are already in the beginning stages of working with new farmers, also with some guys in Guatemala to actually import more coffee to us, and then at the same time trying to develop those relationships with those farmers as well.
You have a wonderful bakery here, and not many people know about the bakery.
Yes. Yeah.
But once you taste your baked goods, you can't help but come back.
Oh, and in the beginning, it was kind of one of those things that my wife loves to bake, and so it just got to a point where I was like, why don't you do, bake some things that complements the coffee. and then it snowballed for her, and now we have gluten-free items. And with those gluten-free items, what we wanted was it to actually taste comparable to what a regular pastry would taste like. So if it tasted more like a cardboard piece, which is the perception that people had, then we knew we had to keep looking for other ingredients to make sure that whether it was that donut or that scone, that it tasted like a scone that was with regular flour. So yeah, even down to the caramel, they make their own caramel. So it is a passion. They, I would say, have that same passion, love, and desire that I have with coffee. It's always trying to find that great cup of coffee and roast that great cup of coffee.
That is so good. I'm so happy that you chose Ionia as to put Sozo's, because we are honored to have you here. And if anyone wants to learn more about Sozo's, please feel free and come and visit Sozo's, taste their coffee, and read about them below in our webpage here. And if anyone else wants to be featured on our Park Bench page, please feel free to call me, Lisa Coe, at 5 Star Real Estate. Thank you so much, Rodney.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me. Cheers.
Thank you.